Hello everyone and welcome to Cinderful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the Grey. Today's video, we've got another Getting Started with Age of Sigmar 3rd edition video for you, and today we're going to be looking at the Hedonites of Slaanesh, and in particular, the mortal part of the army. And so, Mortal Slaanesh, what exactly do they give us? That's what we're going to talk about in this video to start off with, and then we'll look at how we can start a Mortal Slaanesh army and then use some other box sets and kits to expand upon that initial army. And then lastly, we'll finish off the video with a little sample army list showing you how you can use this army and what it can do, you know, to make your own decisions in the end, or copy our army list if you so wish. And so, for starters, Mortal Slaanesh. What exactly does it give us? So, the one thing that Mortal Slaanesh brings, I think, that we don't get with the Demon part more than anything, is ranged firepower. Now, ranged firepower has a great ability to really affect how the Slaanesh summoning works. Slaanesh summoning works by having an amount of units having suffered some wounds in the turn, so you want multiple units to have had wounds taken every turn, so the ability to get ranged firepower into the army and sort of spread your damage across your opponent's army, generating more summoning points than as many as you can, is really powerful for the army. So this in mind, I think a summoning army or a summoning engine style army is really the way to go with some Mortal Slaanesh. That's really what we're going to be focusing on in this video to get you started. And so that's really what we're all about. We've got some ranged firepower, we're going to be building up some summoning, so let's get looking at how we get started with this particular force of Slaanesh. Alright, and so to get our force started, we're going to look at a Lord of Pain. So this is one of the brand new mortal heroes we've got for the army, and I think he's pretty solid. 5 wounds and a 4-up save, movement of 6, he's pretty nice. You also roll a dice each time you allocate a wound or mortal wound to this model, and on a 5+, that mortal wound or wound is negated. In addition, each time a wound or mortal wound is negated by this ability, the attacking unit suffers a mortal wound. So this means in combat, he's actually going to generate some depravity by getting attacked, potentially. If you can just do a couple of wounds to an enemy unit attacking him, is pretty solid. His Paragon of Depravity command ability is pretty sweet though. You get to use this and you pick a friendly Hedonite unit wholly within 12 inch of him and you reroll hit rolls for them, so really nice. He's just a pretty solid hero. A good rerolls to hit is always great on any units. And so the unit we're looking alongside him is Blissbarb Archers. A pretty decent unit with 2 shots each, 4s and 4s, a Ren 1, damage 1 is nice, remembering we can get those rerolls to hit. They have run and shoot and a 6-inch move, which is nice, meaning this unit can, move around the table, getting depravity points where it needs to be. They have the potential, with 2 shots each there to split fire and just get some extra damage across the board and generate extra depravity points for us. We also get an extra attack on the model's Blissbarb bow for our champion, and the Homunculus as well adds 1 to the wound rolls for missile weapons from this unit, whilst it has the Homunculus alive in the unit. So pretty decent. They do only have a 6-up save and 1 wound, so they are pretty fragile, but using them right, you can definitely make some great use of that, generating a lot of depravity for the army. Where do we go to from here though? And first of all, let's talk about Myrmidish Painbringers. So we're going to talk about the combat units first, the 2 different models we've got inside the same box set here, Painbringers and Twin Souls. Painbringers are much more, defensive orientated. They've got the ability to get +1 save with their shields, which is nice. In melee, they've got a 4-up save and 2 wounds each normally, and then the unmodified wound roll for an attack made by them that's a 6 gets a mortal wound in addition to any normal damage. So some mortal wound damage output. A good solid defensive unit is also nice. They do a lot of work. I've played against them, and I think this is a really solid unit. They're effectively Slaanesh-themed Chaos Warriors that have the ability to be Hedonites, which get all the benefits from being Hedonites within the army, so the exploding hits and all of that. Now, Sigmar Twin Souls are the other option we have here inside this particular box set, with 3 attacks, 4s and 3s, no Ren but damage 2, rather than the Ren 1, damage 1 we get from the Painbringers, so more damage but no Rens. At the start of your hero phase, you can pick one of the following abilities to work on the unit of Painbringers. So they can either go for ego-driven excess, where you can reroll hit rolls for them, or you've got Fiendish Reflexes, where they get a 5-up wound, mortal wound save and wound save, so a ward save of 5-up after is really solid. This gives both these units some really interesting options. I really do like both units here, and I think they've got a ton of play within the army. Moving over to the Seekers though, we've got two different variations, and the Blissbarb Seekers perhaps are my favourite. They're effectively a better version of our Blissbarb Archers. They're mounted, so they've got 4 wounds each and a 5-up save and a move of 14. They have run and shoot still, so that's, you know, a 20-inch movement. Added on to their 18-inch, that is 38 inches of range threat, which is just really solid. They've got the ability to do some mortal wounds with their shooting as well, which is nice, just helping sort of give those extra damage across the army to generate more depravity points, plus the fact they have 3 shots each, so, you know, 1 in every 2 of these models is going to generate a mortal wound and potentially get us a depravity point. So you can really split this unit's fire across quite a few different things, generating as much depravity as possible for your army. The other unit we have is Slitblade Seekers. Now this is a close combat version, so we've got reroll charge rolls instead of run and shoot, but we've got mortal wounds on them all the same. The Slitblade Glaive has a 2-inch range, 3 attacks, 3s and 3s, rend 1, damage 1, is pretty solid, so some mortal wound damage there as well. Once again, just 4 wounds, 5-up save, and a fantastic move of 14 inches. We definitely got a lot of movement throughout the army with all these different units. We can really just start to see how we can generate a lot of depravity using all these different abilities from these various units. And so here we have a little sample army list for you all. This is of course in Slaanesh, and we're going to be playing in the Lurid Haze Invaders host. Now Lurid Haze, first of all, it's Invaders, so that's going to give us everything we get out of Invaders to start with. And so let's have a look at exactly what we get for being Invaders inside the army. So Invaders gives us the ability to have multiple generals. That's not going to be too important in the start of this, I guess, where we're only going to have the one character in the army list, but later when you start playing in bigger games, it's definitely going to have a lot more effects. And so we've also got the ability with Escalating Havoc, where at the end of your battle shock phase you receive 1 depravity point if any of your generals are wholly within enemy territory, and you get more if you have multiple of them in there, which is nice. But also, we've got the Lurid Haze stuff here. So first of all, this extra ability we get is Billowing Mist, which effectively allows us to remove D3 friendly Lurid Haze Invader host units from the battlefield and say they're in ambush. This straight away allows us to just deploy them 6 inches of the board edge, 9 inches away from enemy units, and just gives us an extra little bit of movement and ability to sort of move around the table and generate those depravity points with our shooting units. We've got a command ability as well, Intoxicating Pull, so you can use this command ability. If you do so, pick a friendly Lurid Haze Invader host unit, hold within 12 inch of a hero, and add 1 to save rolls for that target. So nice, being able to get some bonus saves is pretty solid. Now we've got the command trait that we have to take, which is Feverish Anticipation, which we get to reroll 1 rolls for friendly Lurid Haze Invader host units, hold within 12 inch of the general when he makes some run rolls, and he also gets an extra wound from his artifact, the Oil of Exaltation. So he's pretty solid there. So now we've got 2 units of 11 Blissbarb Archers, technically 10 Archers and 1 Homunculus there as our battle line, and 5 Blissbarb Seekers with everything wrapped up inside a battle regiment, meaning it's a 1-drop army. We've gone for Predator's Domain because of all the movement abilities we've got for the army, the fastness, or the ability to be fast. Fastness is not that sort of word, wrong use there, but Predator's Domain as well is just great for this. Inspired for +1 a wound is a nice triumph to have for the army. We're not really wanting to charge, and Battle Shock we don't really want to use it, and we should have enough command points to sort of see it spare. 735 points out of 750 means we are likely to get that triumph, which is nice. Reinforced units, allies, wounds 47, and 1 drop thanks to our battle regiment that's wrapping up all our units inside of it. If you've been playing with the Hedonites of Slaanesh in the new edition of Warhammer Age of Sigmar, let us know how you're going, especially if you're playing with a mortal-themed army. And so that's the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And while you're at it, leave us a comment and let us know what you liked about the video. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our fine community we've got going at Cinderful Gaming, you can do so by following the link in the description of the video to our Discord server. Lastly, if you'd like to help support the channel in another way, you can do so either by joining our Patreon or YouTube members. Our Patreon and YouTube members help decide what content we do on the channel. If you'd like to help support, that would be greatly appreciated, and we'd love to give a shout out to everyone who has helped support the channel via Patreon, and that is our patrons: Christian Weir, James, Soren, Chaos Spawn, AJC, Kenny Lyle, Outer and Shop First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, The Rising Ape, Q Dynamic, Agu, Anthony B, Dinat226, Anton Nilsson, and JJ Austrian. And a special thank you to our YouTube members who, by the way, don't forget when we've got live streams and in the comments, you can use our special emojis on YouTube. You amazing people. Thank you to our YouTube members, Green Roots Gaming, Kenton Young, Steve T, The Real Zeop, Chris Wallace, Turo12, Vinny, Lock Lorick, The Johnny84, David Ellsworth, and a special thank you to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork for the channel, and to Xmorphic, who does an amazing job at all the background work in our Discord server. Thank you to both of you. You do an amazing job and do so much for the channel. That's it for today, folks, though. Stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the grey. Ciao for now.